again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today is Full Deck Challenge Day again, and the Full Deck Challenge number 3 is ran by Shana from ShanoukiArt, and I've got all the details for her channel and for the challenge listed down below, and you can just click on it and go and find out some more information. But you can join at any time and it's lots of fun. Today we're going on to card number 31 and the prompt is rainbow. So I actually have done a little bit of prep for it. It's not going to be a long video today, but first let's have a little look at last week's card. For those of you that are new, welcome, and hello to all of my new subscribers, and thank you to all my regulars for tuning in and commenting. I really appreciate it. Now, for those of you that are new, you might not know that there's mainly only 2 rules. One of them is that you have to have a constant that you put on each card for the whole challenge for the 52 weeks. And my constant is paint swatches. And then you also have to have a carryover item each week from your last week's card. So this is my last week's card. I did the dandelions. And you can see that I did some paint swatches. I die cut out some circle paint swatches, and up here is a button. And I die cut out that button and put some thread in it. The button is what I'm going to carry over to my card for this week. Now, it just happens to be paint swatches as well, but it could be a normal button, could be anything. Yeah, that's my carryover. So let's get set up and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I have already prepped the back of the card. You can see that I have just put some scrapbook paper on it, and I just picked something that was wavy a little bit, like the shape of a rainbow. And today's date is the 8th of August. So I've already stamped that. I've pulled out the 7 of hearts, mainly because there's 7 colours in the rainbow. I also have embossed just a piece of white cardstock that I'm going to put on the front, but I'm going to do some watercolour on this first. But I've just pulled out a few bright coloured circles, and I have die cut out a button for each of the colours in the rainbow. And you can see that I have die cut out the orange from last week's colour as well. So I'm carrying over the button, but I'm also carrying over this piece of paper that I watercoloured for last week's card. So I've got a few carryover items. So let's get started. I'll put them to the side. And you can see that I have die cut out all of those little buttons out of the paint swatches. So let's first of all watercolour this. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of watercolour onto this. So I might just put a really short amount of music on for you to listen to while I'm watercolouring, but I won't be very long. I've just put a little bit of ultramarine watercolour on there just to give it a tiny bit of colour around the edge. Okay, so let's mark our card of where I'm going to punch out the number 7. I'll just mark it here. and use my hole punch to punch it out. Okay, so we'll glue that on now. I hope everybody is doing well and enjoying moving things along with the challenge. We're getting along, aren't we? Number 31. With this challenge, I always wait until Shana has done hers. Sometimes I have it filmed before Shana does hers, but most of the time I wait. I had planned to do, because my constant is paint swatches, I had planned to do a rainbow of torn paint swatches and then tuck into each paint swatch a stamp, a postage stamp, one of each colour of the rainbow of the Queen. And then on Thursday evening, Shana posted hers, and she did rows of paper with postage stamps, not every colour, but quite a lot. And I thought, oh, I can't do the same. I've got to do something different. So I had to come up with something new. But it's funny how you sometimes do similar things to what some other people are doing. And when I was doing the July Jack Journal challenge, there was another creator that sometimes we would comment that we had thought or done similar things. So I just thought that that was interesting. But Shana's card, it looked beautiful, and great minds think alike, hey? Maybe I'll do the paint swatch pockets with stamps in for something else another time. All right, I'm just going to glue this on. You can see that I've just put a little bit of black soot and inked the edge. I'm just going to glue these on. I think I want to hang a few over the edge. These are just little pods, flower pod from All and Create. These little coloured discs. We're just going to glue those on and then put our buttons around. I'm just going to punch the hole before I start sticking the buttons on, because I don't want to put a button in the way of where I need to put the hole. So let's set a eyelet first. Okay, I've popped that black eyelet in. So I have a sentiment, and the sentiment I've chosen is look on the bright side. So I'm going to stick that on just before I glue down some of these buttons, because once again I don't want them to be in the way. Let's put that on. Yes, they look good, don't they? Little buttons. I only have one die for buttons. I'm just putting a little dot of glue on the thread because the knots are coming a little bit undone. Okay, I'm just going to let that dry, and I'm going to get my black watercolour pencil to rub around the edge. Okay, I'm just going to go around the edge of this text, and I'll go around the edge of the card with my watercolour pencil. I'm just going to dip it into the water just to get it working. Okay, let's clear the decks and I'll show you the card. I'm just going to pop on a few white splatters, not too many actually. Just to brighten it a little. Here we go, let's have a little look at the finished card. Now the prompt today was rainbow, and I have used 7 colours of the rainbow. I picked the 7 of hearts for that reason. The sentiment says look on the bright side, because obviously we've got lots of colour all of the bright colours of the rainbow, and I have carried over the button. You can see on here I have a button that I made out of a paint swatch. I did the same thing with this one. I just die cut out 7 different buttons, and I have used some seed pods or flower pods from All and Create. I did some dry embossing on the background and put a little bit of watercolour on. And then I finished it off with some white splatters and some watercolour black pencil around the edge. There we go, there's the card. So let's add that to the family. And I got myself a new holder for my cards, so hopefully it'll hold a few more than the other one. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the card, and if you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, that'd be wonderful, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all very soon with a new project. So have a great weekend, everybody, and I hope you get some time to do some creative things as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.